Hey, friends. Hey, welcome to the May call, and so happy that we're joining for this. It's really delightful. It's such a wonderful experience in the month. I just love it that we're all getting together. And tonight, let's tap into the happiness within. It's always there. And it's really the source that being open, being able to connect with and hear that divine voice, the voice of spirit, the voice of God, the voice of source, that voice that's not separate from us, whatever the word is for that, for you, it is the same voice. It's our center point. And that is where true happiness and joy and the wellspring of all of creation lie. And we are always part of that. We're just not always tuned into it because it's not been our default for what seems like a very long time. We have been operating as our personalities and how we see the world, how we experience ourselves and others has all been from our conditioned mind, which is quite limited and serving the purpose for specifically us getting to experience separation. Well, this is an invitation whenever we get together on these calls, it's an invitation to pop out of that limited space, break free for this moment together and carry with us after our call more of that essence, more of our natural state and the real sense of connection with that. And our ability to really tap our highest creative potential, which has nothing to do with our conditioning and everything to do with who we really are in an expanded sense, higher self-awareness, one self-awareness, experiencing as many. Anyway, I invite you right now. I have in our chat box, I have put up the names of our wonderful facilitators tonight, and we will be led by them as we go through this time together to just be shifting, clearing, releasing, bringing in, shifting everything to support us being able to have a clearer communication of receptivity of that inner voice and of that channel that is directly aligned with aligning all of us with source and with the creative mind that we also are all part of. So take a moment now and close your eyes for a moment. Let's all close our eyes for a moment and allow ourselves to really fully be here now, giving ourselves full permission to let go of anything that has been distracting. If your cell phones are on, you do well to turn them off or silence, whatever you want to do on that, so that this is your time, if you can. And just open ourselves to the field that we are both creating and part of. We're co-creators and we are actually not separate from this field, this space. It's pure essence, pure essence, pure presence, opening ourselves up, taking a few nice full breaths in, belly, chest, fully exhaling as well, releasing anything that would hold you back from fully receiving, fully letting go of what you're ready to let go of, and fully aligning with whole self. Letting the awareness move from your crown, bringing that light, the awareness of light, all the way in through the crown, all the way through the head, the neck, the torso, out the limbs, all the way down. And really all the way down out the feet and down your grounding cord and expanding out. And here's this beautiful field that we're sharing. And so for the purpose of opening up, tapping into where the real joy and unshakable joy can be found, I now turn us over to Melissa to start us in this beautiful adventure of opening up.
Thank you, Arena. Welcome, everyone. And so, as we start to really tap into true happiness and that miracle mindedness, we're just invited to move through these clearings and bringing in some rates and some energy. First, we'll start with Archangel Uriel, who's showed up very clearly today to be with us, to guide us. And so we just open to receive the wisdom that Archangel Uriel has to share, invoking the presence and the power of this energy and this Archangel to be present with each of us, feeling the expanse of the wings right there in our presence, knowing that we're never alone. And right here, right now, Archangel Uriel is with us. And so as we move through these clearings, I just invite you to maybe put your palms up and just release all that is called to be released as we start in a place of releasing any patterns of unworthiness, of fear and doubt, shame and guilt that might be keeping us from that sense of true happiness, that inner glow, that miracle mindedness. We just allow those patterns to just drain away. We can send them down that grounding cord, just releasing, letting go anything that feels like unworthiness or fear, doubt, shame, and guilt. Just allowing that light that Arena called in to expand, fill in any spots that might have held those patterns, just clearing the strands of DNA, of memory, and just recognizing how worthy we are, that we're held in this moment, that the path is made clear, and that we're all just doing the best we can in this moment. And that is our best. Moving on, we just invite anything that's blocking our subtle bodies, those subtle energies, to just release and let go, allowing that sense of happiness and miracle mindedness to bubble up as we move through the etheric body, just letting things fall away that no longer serve. The emotional body, just imagining that anything in the emotional body that's had its grip just loosens, lets go. The mental mind, those mental loops, that monkey mind, anything in the mental body, thought patterns that no longer serve. We just clear them away, opening space for effervescence and light. Our astral body, just blowing away any gray clouds, anything that might be obscuring that astral body that's keeping you out of that miracle mindedness. Knowing that miracles are happening in every moment with every breath. Moving to the etheric body, the etheric template. tapping in and tuning into the true essence, the true nature of your being. Finally clearing the celestial and causal bodies. Just allowing that golden light of the divine to just flow through the ethers, flow through all of those bodies, from your root to your crown. Golden path of light, illuminating your way. And we move on to just look at the soul agreements, those spiritual and energetic soul agreements that maybe we made when we came here. And we just simply release any of those agreements that are complete, that no longer serve us, that we release anything in our template that is not held in our highest good, that's calling in our truest happiness, our inner wisdom, our light. And as we do that, we just tune into the gateway of our highest potential, our highest purpose, and just increase our receptivity to divine guidance, allowing the mind to still, the pineal and the pituitary glands to activate as we tune in and listen for that divine guidance. And we just know, be it through an inner knowing, a sign, a hearing. We know that that gateway to our highest purpose is just paved with gold. And that we open our heart even broader and wider and deeper to be even more receptive to hear that divine guidance in every moment. And as we release anything that's stopping our self-empowerment, particularly around trust, trust in ourselves, trust in the wisdom of the universe, trust in those knowings and those signs. We just release anything that keeps us from fully tuning in and trusting our intuition, trusting the empowerment of our soul, our spirit. Just knowing that we can trust and be. And from that morphic field, we go to release anything from the maternal ancestral field, anything in that maternal lineage that might have stepped away from happiness and miracles. We just let that all go. We invite our entire ancestral line to open their hearts, open their minds, to tune in and tap into joy, to tap into peace, to hold the ground firm of what they know to be true, that love leads the way. And we place our attention on the top of our head, that beautiful crown chakra, violet in color, its lotus flower. We just clear anything from that chakra, just imagining that it's vibrating and pulsing with that beautiful violet light. Just calling in the experience of our divine self, that we hear, feel, and know the divinity of our being. that we are made of stardust, the same thing the universe is made of, that we are divine in nature, and that crown chakra is the gateway. And as we call in some rates that will help us with tuning into that true happiness and miracle mindset, the first rate we're called to call in is 99, mental focus. So we broadcast in the rate of 99, allowing it to infiltrate our cells, our beingness, doing its work until it's no longer needed or necessary. Just allowing 99 to help with mental focus, be it in our spiritual practice, our family life, our work in the world. We just invite 99 to give us that extra edge of mental focus. And with that, we call in the rate of 411 to help balance the brain-blood barrier. And again, focusing on the head, that brain-blood barrier in you just call 411 to bring it into complete balance, highest function and optimal function for our highest good and the highest good of all beings. And we are invited to call in the rate 55355 to transmute fear to love and to support health, mental, and emotional well-being. 55355, broadcasting that number in throughout our entire being, physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual body. Allowing it to do its work. 55355. And finally, we call in the rate 5544 to clear all chakras in and around the body, harmonizing and aligning them, allowing them to spin at their most optimized way. 5544, inviting the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the belly and the root, the chakras on our hands and our feet, those above and below, to come into perfect harmony, perfect balance, perfect alignment as we stand here steeped in happiness, steeped in miracles, steeped in love. I am so grateful. And I pass to Martha.
Thank you, Melissa. Beautiful. So continuing on with our focus for tonight's call, we of connecting with our true happiness, opening up to being miracle mindedness. As you said, Melissa, all day, every breath, we have an opportunity to change perception, to be miracle mindedness, and opening up and having a clearer channel to our divine guidance, our inner connection, and hearing the voice of the divine. This is all a choice that we can make at any time. Sometimes it doesn't feel very easy to make the choice, but we do have a choice. So for tonight, what came up for me when I asked, what do we want to look at today with this beautiful focus? And I got collapsing the energetic heart wall and to open to love. So for this, we're going to call in our Holy Spirit, for each and every one of us. And we're also going to call in Ganesh, which has the benefits and the properties of removing obstacles with his many arms that he has in his form. So we're going to call that in as well for this, assisting us with this clearing tonight as our helpers. The Holy Spirit is always tapped into the truth, and we feel this truth when we're connected to it. We know that we're open to it. It's our gateway. So as I see a heart wall, I see it as a protective barrier that we created with ourselves to protect our heart against any hurts and wrongs as a child, as after newborn, and we're in the toddler stage, and we get these hurts and wrongs from somebody saying something or whatever, and we just protect this, put armor there so that we won't be hurt again. This will never happen to us again. So as we go on in our life, they get deeper and deeper until now we're just going to unwind it and release it all. So we're going to dissolve that heart wall so we can open up to receive love. And we're going to do this through the 6-dimensional codes tonight. So these 6-dimensional geometric codes reconfigure the geometry of the specific focus that they're associated with. These codes bring in a new level of coherence for us, optimize desired results, and have an opening to the field of all potential beyond linear limitations that are here. So we're just going to speak them in. I have 4 to come in for collapsing our energetic heart wall to open to love this evening. So the first code that we're going to bring in, and these are felt states, it's just feeling them and just receiving the energy that they bring. We bring in the code of 888-9962 to release any guilt that's in this heart wall. Letting this guilt go, this rate will do it for us, and to embrace self-love and acceptance now. Just bringing that in, the code 888-9962, allowing this code to dissolve all guilt as one of the layers of our heart wall. And as we do this, we embrace self-love and acceptance of self. We're now moving into the second code, which is 54446, to release limiting beliefs and emotions of unworthiness. The need of having something outside of us to establish and feel worthy. It may be a job, or a job more like loss of a job, and we don't feel worthy because we've grown accustomed to establishing worthiness through our job. And it could be also a partner, a loss of a partner split up, that we don't feel worthy after establishing worthiness through this outside connection. So we just allow this rate of 54446 to release any limiting beliefs and emotions of unworthiness, releasing this from our heart wall now, allowing this ray to just dissolve and resolve these patterns of unworthiness. We're now going to move into a rate, bringing this code of 555733, and this code is to open to receive love, opening and clearing for a healthy heart chakra. Feeling that heart chakra expand. We allowing this rate now of 555733 to open and to receive love, and allowing this rate to dissolve all patterns and beliefs that we took on as we created this heart wall of protection, and we open to love now. is bringing that in. 555, 733, feeling that connection to the heart chakra, bringing it in, expanding this beautiful heart center to love, opening it to love. We're now going to move into bringing the code of 67831 to open our gateway to divine light portal, opening this gateway chakra now to our higher consciousness. Melissa opened some for us, and we're just going to extend to the highest point now as we bring in 67831 to open our divine light portal, opening our gateway chakra to higher consciousness so we can receive our focus for tonight. True happiness, miracle mindedness, and a clear channel to this portal, to the higher consciousness now. We allow these codes to come in, permeate into our hearts and our minds, expanding us, opening us up to receiving true happiness, and opening us up to miracle mindedness as we move through our days. Beautiful. So we're just going to now move into a pattern for forgiveness that came up for myself to clear tonight is non-acceptance. When there's a conflict with what is, it's one of my favorite things to play in, actually. Anywhere we see a person, a situation, or it could even be ourselves, when we feel that this person or this situation or ourselves should be any different than the way they are, is a great opportunity for forgiveness, opening us up for forgiving ourselves. So we're now going to move into acknowledging this pattern when many times it comes up is when we're not accepting as is. Anywhere that it takes us out of our peace and we want to change it to adapt to ourselves, making us feel safe. So we acknowledge it. We accept this pattern as part of us. As we clear ourselves now in all time frames and in all dimensions of all the limiting beliefs we hold, all the limiting patterns we hold, and all other limiting factors that have been held in the emotional realm with this pattern of non-acceptance, a conflict of what is. So we clear this now from all aspects, wherever we're holding it in the physical being, anything on the physical body from our physical senses, we let it go from there. All organs and organ systems that make up the body. We also clear it from the non-physical, which is our energy fields, our chakras, our meridian lines, our spaces, and our properties, our homes, and all the spaces between all our close relationships we share. We collapse these patterns now back into the light, back into pure light potential now, reversing all the ill effects that we've experienced, all these triggers of non-acceptance, feeling the conflict when we tense up and we restrict our bodies, not accepting what is. We clear all the ill effects in all time frames and in all dimensions. We now bring all these limiting karmic patterns and all the unconscious agreements that are linking to this pattern that we hold in the emotional realm of non-acceptance to completion now, releasing ourselves from this and all others that we play this pattern out with. We release all of us here to be free to start anew, letting this entrapment go, bringing us into acceptance, have the calmness and the peace that's here for just totally accepting what is without having to change it. So we bring this in. We offer the benefits of this clearing to the whole collective, recognizing as we heal, we never heal alone, because we know we're one, the oneness aspect. So we're just going to do a little forgiveness prayer for this pattern that we hold, telling ourselves, I love you. I'm so sorry for all the suffering that we have played out, we felt, we've experienced with this pattern of non-acceptance, the conflict that it brings in, knowing we've all suffered through our limited consciousness ego, needing to be right, needing to have it our way. Please forgive me for all my misperceptions of you outside myself as well as myself. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to go deep within to heal this pattern of non-acceptance from my mind, bringing us in to our focus for tonight with happiness. So we're now just going to move in and remind ourselves when this pattern of non-acceptance, of conflict that we feel, having a conflict of what is happening with us, our higher mind reminds us as we direct our mind back into peace, all aspects of our being and of our life must respond. As we direct our minds back into peace, all aspects of our being and of our life must respond, as within, so without as well. We have peace within, our life is peaceful, our being is peaceful. It's the way it is. And I'm just going to pass it on to Linda now. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha and Melissa. Very, very beautiful. And as we continue to tap into true happiness and life in miracle mindedness, we know that the miracle is that we can change our mind. We can change the way we look at things. We can change our way of being. And we have patterns that we continue to express that we don't want to express. They're called addictions. And we can sometimes feel that we are a victim of addictions to drugs, alcohol. Some people are addicted to gaming or food, the phone, or worry, negative thoughts. And so we're just going to shift out these patterns, especially the belief in the fact that we can't shift an addiction, because an addiction is still a thought, a belief that we have to have something or do something and that we are not in control of our own being. And when we shift all patterns, eliminating these false beliefs, these false paradigms that we have in this culture of addictions, being unable to be above and beyond our own self, that we shift this pattern, we collapse this pattern into pure light and fill all the voids with the expanded awareness of love, knowing that we are perfect and pure and that we can manage ourselves and the way we are with things. And we'll feel good when we release these things. And if we can't release them, we know where to go to get some help so that we can. Because addictions do not serve us in any manner, especially if we feel like we're a victim, because there are no victims. There's only choices, there's only belief, and the desire to be free of pain. And so we hide behind certain things and we release all of these, knowing that we are perfect and whole in this moment and all moment, not just today, but for eternity. In the all time, we are perfect and whole. And there are also some limiting emotions and feelings that had wanted to be cleared. And one of those are to be attached. Sometimes we get attached to things. And so if we lose it or don't have it anymore, we feel stressed and we feel loss and we feel extreme pain. And so to removing all these patterns of attachment, letting go, knowing that the moment again is perfect and whatever happens, regardless of our view of what we think should have happened, it's perfect. To think it's anything but perfect is insane, as Byron Katie would say. It's insane to think that things should be any way other than it is. And how do we know that? Because it is. It's that simple. And also, all times we feel like we are competing with someone, anyone, someone who we think is better than us, or they think they're better than us, so we feel we have to compete with them. To collapse these patterns of competing, knowing that we're perfect as we are, and they're perfect as they are too, even if they can be arrogant sometimes, and we would like to not have to compete or feel that we have to compete to be seen, to trust again that we are the whole and the all at the same time. So there is no need to compete because we're only competing really with ourselves. And any form or thought of feeling desperate, again, wanting something so badly that we can feel desperate to have something. Releasing again that attachment to anything, our ideas about anything that include feelings of desperation, feeling of fear and desperation, letting this pattern that does not serve us to completely collapse into pure light potential, feeling it dissolve, going into the universe, releasing it from you, from me, from all of humanity, due into trusting the way that things are and letting it be and going with the flow of life, going down the river, not up the river, allowing ourselves to move softly, softly down the river and know that the universe will just pop us out when we're supposed to be there so we can relax and let that flow. And the wisdom code, which is Greg Braden's work, came up to be looked at. And it is reminding us, as we do over and over again, to relax and feel safe that we are eternal. And this wisdom code is the Essene Gospel of Peace, which says and reminds us that one day your body will return to the earthly mother, even also your ears and your eyes. But the holy stream of life, the holy stream of sound, and the holy stream of light, these were never born and can never die. This addresses our primal fear of non-existence and our relationship to a greater presence. We are that greater presence connected at all times. When we trust and believe that, our safety will increase tenfold, hundredfold, thousandfold. So to feel safe that we are always here and we are always expanding and growing. And so everything we're experiencing here is part of our soul's journey to grow, to experience, and expand. And there's also a beautiful neurotransmitter that came in and wanted to help support us all, and that's GABA, a neurotransmitter that acts as a natural tranquilizer to promote relaxation, manage stress, and stabilize mood. So we spin that GABA neurotransmitter in, letting it help calm the mind, calm the body, letting us relax, feeling at peace, letting us sleep soundly, completely balanced with this neurotransmitter pulsing through our body, working perfectly with every cell, feeling each one firing in our brain, feeling so at peace, and the body calm and relaxed. And there's also this desire for divine union as a state of being. And it's asking us to let go of control. Again, wanting things to be a certain way, releasing that thought that things need to, should, or might want to be a certain way versus what it is. So we let go of control, especially control of other people, accepting them as they are, feeling their wholeness and their oneness, and allowing ourselves to be in the presence of those we think should be different than they are, at peace with who they are, and at peace with who we are. And they also wanted us to bring in that reminder of life. Life is my purpose. Everyone's wondering, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And we stress about that. Am I doing the things for my purpose? Am I on purpose? Am I able to be purpose? But this divine union as a state of being, this is life. Life is my purpose. Just to exist, to be, to see the world, to be connected to the earth, to be in nature. And there's a book I read, the Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. And there were three primary points that were in that book and that channeling from Conversations with God. And one is there's nothing you have to do. Two, there is enough. And three, there is only one of us. So reminding ourselves that they're all one, and there is enough, and there's nothing we have to do but be here now. And I will pass it over to Christina.
Thank you, Linda and all. That was beautiful. And continuing on in joining in with our divine guidance and our circle, bringing in the crystal desert rose that showed up, connecting all the aforementioned properties. And this crystal helps us in mental clarity, dispelling confusion, resolving mental clutter, and boosting focus. It also helps with stress and anxiety relief, and it's used in meditation to quiet a racing mind and bring deeper consciousness and peace. So we can call on this crystal to also facilitate us or aid us in grounding and protection. It anchors scattered energies while creating a protective shield against negative energies. And we can do this by closing our eyes, calling on this crystal, and connecting with a blue shield around us and a toroidal field all around, as well as chakra alignment that has come up before. So it actually resonates strongly with both the crown and the root chakra, bridging higher spiritual consciousness. with physical stabilization. And also Merlin and the name of the crystal is Desert Rose. And Merlin came in, and we've known Merlin, the magician, as a myth. And in this mindful, the miracle-minded intention, I felt it was really appropriate to realize that we are magicians and we can use this mythological vision of magic in our words, in our actions, in our connection with the breath, in the miracle mindedness, the mindfulness of connection to the present moment. And slowing the breath. In fact, the modality that came in as well is breath work. So whatever breath work that you might be working with already, or just even to focus a few moments on the breath of the inflow and the outflow of breath, that happens when we don't even know it, and it is life. As Linda said, it's our purpose. We are life. Our breath reminds us of that. And the prana flow. So connecting with this makes us really aware of our connection to life itself, to our planet. And in the crown, through the root chakra, we can even take a moment to connect and chain ourselves to the center of the earth from our root and feel that connection. Maybe we can bring in some energy from our planet and the Schumann wave and the resonance, coherence with our earth that is changing, and to adapt with this consciousness that is also our life flow and force. And that our planet and the cosmic field is also adapting to us, and that we are in coherence, which means a changing ability. So to tune in with this in a mindful way really makes us feel and see the miracles that are happening, and tune in with this. It's a beautiful, magical consciousness in all the elements. And so the attention to this is what really makes it all come alive. And I also was called to clear or bring in forgiveness, but clear any and all. If any seems like we've done a lot of forgiveness focus, it's came up as the remaining entanglement with anything that is blocking us from living in union, and to collapsing the illusion of separation to join in the forces of this flowing life that is life-giving, and breathing this in. And this awareness and intention to forgive and to be forgiven as this truth that brings us into peace. And I'm bringing some rates in to support our awakening. Then most that have already been mentioned. The rate of 349 to enhance awareness of my freedom to choose peace in the name of peace, the deepest truth of who we are. And also the rate of 4429 to the acceptance. I love what is. To say this quietly or aloud, I love what is. As well as the rate 5554. No thoughts are true. Also, to express this, to recognize the deepest truth, the truth that is deeper. There's always a deeper truth, and this leads to freedom. As well as the rate 344, mindfulness. The rate 666777, unconditional allowance, love, synonymous with unconditional acceptance, unconditional love. To bring this in to our expanding heart. The rate 22333, to release unconscious pattern of judgment for freedom, in the name of freedom. And to notice our judgment with compassion and the ones in others, to know that when we judge others, we also judge ourselves, to set ourselves free with compassion and acceptance, to see it dissolve. The rate 7779999, to cultivate presence, to awaken. Also, the rate 432277, to activate the DNA dormant strands. Wake up your inherent abilities. We are now invited to awaken and remember our deeper connection to consciousness. So we're bringing this in to activate these dormant strands and to remember 432277. And also to release, lastly, any trauma that are held in our system on any level of our bodies, physical, emotional, energetic, spiritual, environmental, on any level of our being. We're clearing that now by looking at it with compassion, recognizing all human beings go through suffering, and we're releasing this memory. Instead of holding us entangled in it, we're holding it while releasing it with compassion, loving acceptance, so we can reunite with our whole self. And these memories of suffering and trauma have enabled us to accept and understand other human beings, and now we can help those who are suffering and may be stuck. So we are grateful for these experiences while releasing them now, to hold so that we don't bypass them, but instead welcome this experience. And then they're shifting in their intensity. And we're spinning all of this in with great love, with this feeling of united in this focus tonight, feeling the energy of all of us together with this beautiful intention and all that has been said. And we'll pass it on to Irina to close. And with great gratitude, I thank you all for your presence here.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you everyone. A beautiful, beautiful flow tonight for sure. And so, as we are bringing this precious sacred gathering to a completion for this evening, just take a moment and receive for yourself, as you have been, the blessings, the essence, the beauty, the love of all that has been shared, and for the purpose of waking that up and the awareness of that within us all. Allow all of it to simply expand throughout your body, field, mind, out into all fields of your relationship, out into all environments you are connected with, known and unknown, and out into the collective as we join tonight and truly have been divinely guided and, in this wonderful gathering, this wonderful flow together. We give great gratitude to our divine guidance, to the divine, to Holy Spirit. And we join in the holiest of holies, in the holy place of sacred union for the purpose of healing. And instantaneously, everything that we each and together have shared tonight is part of the whole. What a beautiful gift. So take this within yourself, ground it, that you may carry it forward and feel the blessings continue to support you all through this month and beyond. Please reach out at any time with any questions, any feedback, and I have some updates on our updates and specials page of some wonderful things coming up in June. So take a look at that. And yeah, thank you for being part of our community. Thank you, facilitators. Thank you for all. Thank you all for being receivers. It's all one act. Giving and receiving are one act. And so we are all part of it. And it is indeed a miraculous, miraculous moment, a space, and a blessing to all. So with that, I will say goodnight to everybody. And we really look forward to seeing you next month on our call and sooner. And have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you again, facilitators.